I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is the round of 16 of the 2025 Carcassonne Champions League, where Germany's Matthias Lemaha will be meeting United Kingdom's David Faraci. Both players are better known by their respective screen names, yzemazy or yzemazy and Lord Terrycloth, both of course very strong. Probably the German master has to be the favorite here due to his higher peak rating and a wealth of experience in this game, but it should be fun. Maybe 55% chance or 60% chance of win for yzemazy would be my prediction here. And we don't know who their opponent is going to be. Once the final 8 has been decided, there's going to be another random draw. So they just simply fighting for the chance to be in the top 8. And then who's their opponent, we're going to deal with later. This is, as usual, a best of 3 encounter. Very, very straightforward rules. So the Brit is playing here with the green meeples, the German with the yellow. Already some tiles have been placed, and by some I mean almost half the game in just a couple of minutes. But players do not have a lot of points on the scoreboard. So Lord Terrycloth with 8, yzemazy with 4. Overall looks like a really good position for green, actually, because of this 8-point monastery that's controlling the 5-point road of his opponent. There's this mini battle here between a 2-point city of yellow and 3-point road for green, which favors yellow, actually, because he has more flexibility into trying to build up a city like this. David has a road open for 3-point. It will now get pressured by the newly completed yellow city. But it looks like we are having ourselves some fields, as Lord Terrycloth also finishes another city and obviously is going to drop a farmer. Although maybe I should not say obviously. I guess if you drop on that farm, then one thing that you can get concerned is an unlikely but still real sequence of back-to-back triple city tiles. Yeah, well, we're not going to see that part of the board, but there are some scenarios where that farmer gets emboxed a little. But in the meantime, Wise is quite wisely building up his city at the top. The idea of going like this and then like this, so building around the shared square, and there's really not all that much that green can do about this. So very equal position. Yellow now drops a farmer for 12 points, 4 completed cities. It is expected that eventually the 2 farmers are going to unite. Oh, but that has to be interesting. The city splitter. What does Wise do here? He chooses to use a splitter as simply a Dorito tile. I'd like this move, but I would have thought a little bit longer, because this move has some strategic implications. No, I guess it's good. I guess it's good. We're kind of being pressured, but it was possible to take the game into an entirely different direction strategically by going over here and just trying to build a big field. Lord Terrycloth places the last meeple on the city, and this now should kind of cost him, as yellow is probably going to go here and equalize that city and spend some time with a 1-2-0 meeple majority. Now the reason why green... Oh, that's interesting. So yellow just chooses to take points. I'm not sure how much I like that. I really like the idea of leaving your opponent without meeples. And the idea of also completing the city is actually super, super nice. Yeah, I think yellow might be underestimating the power of that city a little bit. Because, well, let's just see how the game progresses, right? Anyway, yellow managed to restrict green city a little bit. It's actually very hard for green to block the completion of that city. Well, maybe it's not that hard. So he can get either one of the 2 remaining, no, actually the 1 remaining left-handed dagger, but that's about it. All the other tiles that fit there do something like this, and it's really annoying to have. I guess he has to go here now. And then he's going to try and wait for another horse tile. So he'll eventually complete the connection of the 2 cities. He will neutralize the threat. and he'll likely finish his road, but that is kind of difficult. Oh, you know what? We could actually just go here and simply finish the road and then give ourselves more tile to complete this connection. But he chooses not to do so, because he didn't want to get blocked with just 1 point. So the idea here was that there was a chance to just go here, basically sacrifice a few points for the sake of getting this meeple back a little bit more quickly. But that sort of defeats the purpose of this initial move. But now it's also kind of awkward as, again, Wise with all these extra meeples. For example, not the worst move, just going here and actually trying to invade here. Then equalizing the left part of the city, still enjoying an equal mini battle of 5 points against this road, and then maybe even trying to snatch a big ruin. Or even a big completable city. He chooses not to do it just yet. He really wants to play on the fields perhaps, or save his meeples for later. A curve is a fantastic tile, as it now will allow a field restriction. No, a road restriction rather, against Lord's Road. So green can now get a meeple back only with a curve, or a horse tile plus a crossroads sequence. And I guess he can also use a road monastery here, but this would also help yellow's road, so this wouldn't net him an extra meeple. It will just give a meeple back to both opponents. I also see another thing that Matthias might be interested here. And this farmer could eventually develop his holdings to include the left part of the board, where 2 more completed cities lie and many more shall arise. But later, the restriction is more important, and it actually takes away several tiles from Mr. Lord here. It takes away any Doritos with a road. It takes away the 2 remaining daggers. Yellow has free reign to score, whilst green does not have meeples. And green finally gets a meeple back, but a lot of equity sacrificed. He will, of course, be not able to meeple a monastery. He will be not able to take road points. But I guess you kind of have to do it. Or maybe not. How about we just go here? And we try to pre-finish a road. Because we need to use a road end. It's... No. Impatient, I think. I think that's a little bit impatient. I really want to be waiting for a curve here just to not help our opponents a bit too much. Because you can see that yellow immediately uses his new meeple to drop a farmer. And it's a lucrative farmer for 9 points, and yellow just cannot fight back, cannot consolidate. Yeah, I think that was just a bit impatient by yellow here, possibly underestimating the difficulty. No, I mean impatient by green. Maybe underestimating the difficulty of his position a little bit. And also, one of the reasons I actually really like using the monastery here is because crossroads already required over here, so this was a chance to use a road end which was not a crossroads. Because I can anticipate a situation where this road here gets stuck on this end. Green draws the horse tile to fit into the square, but then green actually doesn't finish his road like this, because we're starting to run out short on crossroads a little bit. Only 3 crossroads remaining. Still a road monastery remaining, but there's now a fantastic spot for a road monastery over here. Now, overall, of course, this position is just strategically winning for yellow. But this tile actually might help. So green gets himself a meeple back. And I was going to say that green could be hoping for a crossroads to contain the leftmost farm a little bit. But it looks like we're headed into another Brazilian field fight, as the fields will grow immensely as a result of this curve over here. But yellow is now trying to assess, is that even worth doing? Because there's another lovely move available going over here simply to score. Instead, he chooses to try and start restricting this farmer. That's actually quite interesting. I wonder why exactly we want to do that, because it does not work most of the time. There's still a couple of crossroads available. Well, I guess if he needs a crossroads here, then he cannot use the crossroads here to separate the two farmers. So it's a bit of a game of chicken here. Green now managed to score a little bit, and maybe if he gets something like a road monastery, then maybe there's a chance how he could win without a big field with his slight lead on the scoreboard, plus maybe 9 points for the monastery, plus something else. But it's a bit far-fetched. I can also imagine Green going here and fighting for this ruin and then winning that way. So these extra couple of points, they helped really, really much. If only he can score a couple more city caps, then maybe we can start talking about winning without the field. But not now. But it's not exactly obvious for Green where to use this tile, and maybe this is something that Yellow was counting on. Yeah, look, he goes for the restriction of the small field first, and he's going to hope to draw this connection tile a little bit later. But if he doesn't draw it, and chances are he's not going to draw it because there's only one crossroads remaining, and it's also quite easy to block, then this guy will be stranded with 6 points, whereas this guy will be covered with 12, so that's going to be a 6-point majority in this mini battle of farmers. But overall, I actually like the idea of containing this farm, because these 6 points might not be that substantial after all. And also taking away the monastery idea is nice. But another monastery idea occurs as Yellow gets himself 6 points over here. Lovely move here by the German. Definitely superior to this 6-point monastery spot, as it allows for some variety in the tiles to build it up, plus sets up a scoring move with a city cap. Well, Mr. Lord here with not many options. So the tile clearly goes here. But the question is, do we drop a farmer with that or not? And I kind of think we do. We're really running short on fields. And there's actually a backdoor sneaky idea of this farmer, believe it or not, entering this main field. Curve, straight line, starting tile. Unlikely sequence, but still possible to occur if Yellow doesn't do anything about it. Yellow just chooses to build up his monastery. Green with a difficult choice. Do we score for the city cap and make a net 0-point move and help our opponent to get a meeple back, and we do that solely to prevent Yellow from scoring? Maybe. But maybe not. Yeah, instead he chooses to develop his own field, which makes a lot of sense. The downside of that idea is that it forgoes the idea of field unification, which also could have been kind of nice. But he gets himself another dagger to score for the field, and now he can still go for the field unification, actually, with a Dorito, which may or may not be there, or there's a bunch of Doritos available, plus a starting tile. Okay, you know what? How about we just go crazy and we go here and drop a farmer and then try to get a starting tile, a Dorito, and win this field with a 2 versus 1 majority, and then leave no platforms for reinvasion. That would be bad, but that would be spectacular for sure. In the meantime, yzemazy scores more points for the city and for the field and for the monastery, and prepares to get himself a meeple back. Unenviable position for the player with the green meeple, despite the difference on the scoreboard. Also note this blocky move was incredibly annoying, and also remember what I told you. I told you that this road could likely get stranded as a result of the use of this monastery here instead of on the road. But anyway, there's actually still one more road monastery available. Yeah, Mr. Lord here with a very interesting move. So he chooses to forego immediate points, but simply protect his square a little bit, and he decided he's going to need that coin flip in order to win. I'm not sure if that was worth it. I would probably have to say marginally yes, but taking 2 points right now might have been the way to go as well. Straight line for Lord, probably wants to just continue his road. Could still go over here for farmer invasion. Oh no, of course, I missed the 3 points. We need every point we can get. Now yellow needs to take care of this piece of city, because it creates 2 invasion platforms to the main field. I wonder if that's something that we're okay with. I know what we're okay with. So from yellow's perspective, if we think that our opponent is going to unify the fields, we might as well go here and grab ourselves some compensation, just meeple a 3-point road, then hope that when our opponent gets the key tile that fits into the square, he's going to give us a meeple back and 4 points. So that's one way to go. But another way to go is just think a bit more deeper. How are we going to win this game as yellow? So we're 6 points behind, and our opponent has... Okay, so I guess the 6 point compensates in this field, right? But a 9-point move is available for Lord Terrycloth any minute with this tile. So 3 points for the road plus 6 points for the field unification. And then on these farms, the difference is only 9 points. So actually at the moment, yellow is 3 points behind. Yellow still has a meeple, which is better than 3 points. And yellow, I think, makes a really strong move here. Really, really strong. Chooses to invade the upper field. Also, I miscounted. Yellow was actually 6 points behind due to this farmer having grown and evolved. So that's very, very interesting. So let's say, assuming he connects, which is quite easy to do, then he's going to get himself 6 extra points, which will put him at +3 if I'm not mistaken. I know one person who's very good at counting points is yzemazy. Like, he's very, very fast. And typically whenever I get the points wrong on my streams, he's like very quick to correct me in the chat, but obviously now he can't do it because he's playing. So is there anybody in the chat who can correct me? Actually, I haven't caught up with the chat in a long time. Let's see what we have here. Hi Helge, hi Napamai, hi Joseph, hi João, hi Ian, hi Matt, hi Temrak, hi Hugo. I see some move suggestions for some previous game situations, which I think I addressed. All right, some quick points for yzemazy. Lord Terrycloth decided to simply block himself the worst case scenario because there was an idea of all these farmers being unified, of basically these 2 guys bullying this one guy over here. Because in addition to the starting tile, the same tile, the umbrella tile that's needed by green over here, it also fits in this square actually, but no longer, as green prevents this possibility, and he gets himself another Dorito, which again of course is not going to be used over here. And we have no monasteries left, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we have no vanilla city caps left. How are we doing for curves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, no curves to fit into this square. So if this guy will get stranded, that's certainly an unfortunate draw for yellow there. But then if yellow draws this tile, I think they're doing just fine. Yeah, there are no splitters either, so this farmer has no way of making it to the field anymore. Okay, I forgot about this thing over here, that these were not just 3 points, but this was the connection of this guy into the field. But then I wonder, why did yzemazy do that? Because I think that was yellow who played this tile. And I think from his perspective, he was simply trying to avoid his opponent scoring, right? Because there was still one of those Doritos available and he just didn't want to concede those easy 3 points. That makes sense, but then that puts him into a difficult situation, right? And let me see, he has 9 points on the farms. So it's +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 points for the road. So he's like 3 points behind at the moment. And green is attacking this city over here. So he has one key tile. The one remaining cow tile to go over here and overrun this city. But if he doesn't get this tile, I think that yellow just wins. Because yellow can score. That would certainly be the plan. Like, yellow could just go on the 5-point road and then just pray that David does not draw this crucial tile. But maybe he needs to try and figure out a pathway how he could win even if green draws this crucial tile. And one move that I'm seeing is a bit crazy, but it's maybe going over here to reinvade. The problem, this actually wouldn't quite work, because let's say if our opponent gets the cow tile, and then we get the last remaining road Dorito to invade, which is still possible, then the city is tied, everything is tied, and then we'll lose the game by 1 point. Because this road is worth 7 points. And it puts Lord Terrycloth at +10. Yeah, so that's why he doesn't bother. He goes for the blocking idea. David, of course, immediately is going to defend. Oh, you... Dude... No! Come on, man! I think... Really? And then yzemazy successfully blocks, and... I think also green missed the idea. I think green simply forgot that these farmers were already unified. Because initially I also actually didn't see that this tile unified the farmers. So I guess green was thinking that he's unifying the farmers, but whereas he definitely should have gone over here to both defend the ruin and give himself a point. Like, you could not have gone wrong with that. Of course, yzemazy drew the key tile anyway, and he's going to be winning, but that was an uncharacteristic blunder from Lord Terrycloth here, and one that was played instantly. Again, I don't think I got this wrong, right? It's just quite an easy 50-50 defense. There was only one tile for connection, the cow, and we need to make sure that the cow still fits. And some very, very precise endgame play from yzemazy, and... from David, maybe a bit of a questionable attack of the ruin in the first place. His position was actually pretty good. All he needed to do was just preserve a meeple for quick points. And then that would have probably been enough to hold on. Yeah. Well, that is pretty interesting. 2 points is the difference. And our German fans should be pretty happy about that. Time to update the score before they straight head into the second. The rematch has already been created. And Lord Terrycloth just joined. The German is in great shape right now, rated at a master level 710. Lord Terrycloth in a rougher shape at 529, below their peak. Well, maybe if they can only avoid the moves like the one they did in the final endgame, they have an actual chance in this match. You saw that it was very close up until a certain point. And they get the starting player advantage here. This is what our neutral fans should be hoping for, to make sure we get ourselves a decider in this match, that it doesn't finish too abruptly. Well, I think that the German fans might disagree about that. So Green starts a bunch of roads. They both get restricted. So Green decides to pull a monastery out of the deck instead and gets a mild starting player advantage. Not starting player advantage, just a mild advantage. The monastery is really, really good in this position. It sets up some new monasteries, and I have no doubt that a restriction will soon follow. Oh yeah, this is better. This is way, way more annoying. Actually, these partial blocks of roads are extremely powerful, and very often, as the player who is blocking, you actually don't even have to follow up. Like, this meeple makes it out alive maybe like 20% of the time. Just because this partial restriction, even if left alone, let's say if he gets the dagger tile that he needs, then this will expose the road even more to some more blocks. And so, unless Green draws the tile really, really early, then it is quite possible that when he draws the tile, he might not even put it over here because there will be other places on the board to do this. We also saw some imprecisions here by Green, so starting this road was a bit, well, actually quite a heavy opening mistake. It was much, much better to build from the other side to restrict yzemazy's road. But now, of course, the crossroads was drawn by the German, and 3 points in road consolidation. That was just wonderful. But the two monasteries will certainly help Green's position here. A little bit less when Yellow gets himself a road monastery as well. Interesting decision whether to go here for just net 2 points, so 4 points for your own, but then you sacrifice 2 points and reduce the variance, or just go for a high variance setup but one that scores more. I like this move a little bit better, because it controls an empty road end and it controls this square. So this square is absolutely lovely. Like, we can go with a regular Dorito here and then maybe block this square a little bit later. Mr. Lord here is going for the full juice, and he gets it. Look at this. Setting up the completion of a monastery with another monastery, and then just as he was about to get blocked, pulling it from the deck immediately. What a sequence. What a sequence. High Glavier. Starting tile for eyes. What do we do here? Probably a move that I really like, is quite tricky to see. It's just simply going over here, starting a new road and leaving a city cap next to our monastery. This would leave it sort of vulnerable to a block, but then the thing with the block potentially, this square over here is untouchable for Green because Green cannot place a restriction tile here due to his own road meeple being vulnerable. But yzemazy doesn't go for it, simply starts a new city in a place where I don't like it, and now he gets his meeple restricted. So he'll be looking forward to getting eroded city cap very, very soon. But instead a dagger, and he's now trying to potentially block this square, which he won't do, but that's a fantastic tile from Mr. Lord here. No. Yeah, the tile is nice, but the meeple Well, actually, let me think about it. So for my first instinct, like, I'm just gonna go my first instinct. My first instinct is that I hate this meeple. Because it gets blocked so often. The second thought is that it's actually not that bad, because it's sort of kind of trying to protect. I don't know. Well, this meeple gets trapped, which is of course not a big deal because this meeple gets trapped alongside with it. Maybe there's something to it. It's a bit... Maybe we can talk about this after the game. My first instinct was I didn't like it. My second instinct, actually, wait, this is not that bad. This is not that bad. Oh, but what a great move from yzemazy here. Just a fantastic, fantastic decision. Mr. Lord goes for a 9-point farm, and the damage is immediately contained by the German. This farm can now grow only to a maximum of 12 points. If and only if this fourth city is being completed, which is something that he might have gone for. Okay, now yzemazy doesn't drop a farmer on a 9-point farmer. This has to be just a plain mistake. No, it's a mistake from the commentator because I somehow overlooked the fact that he has already a meeple on the farm. What's going on with me today? Okay, now we have ourselves a big field fight, which in the long run, heavily favors yellow, because yellow has the meeple majority. First of all, one meeple is lost over here for 9 points. Another meeple is lost over here for just 2. Either for a long time or forever. So this means that Lord's task is just to keep the field as small as possible. Oh, what a move from yzemazy. Going for the juice, not going for 4 points, but instead getting himself a meeple on the city and then waiting for one of the 3 city caps. But actually, I'm not sure how much I like it. The fact of the matter is I probably don't. As flashy as it is, I think we're just better off taking 4 points as they are. Because then, if our opponents gets the city cap, that would put them in a really awkward position. They would have to go over here and either claim the city and risk to get blocked on the new platform that we created, or they would have to leave this empty, in which case it would favor us a little bit. No, I mean, this move is totally fine. But then I would have done it if this city cap were not here. We can see how Mr. Lord is trying to benefit from it. And he's about to get blocked. Not that he should do anything about it, really. I've noticed that David has been really, really ramping up in his carelessness for his last meeple. In many cases, this is justified. And also it is justified here, like he has to do it. But he's going to get blocked. And he's going to be in a lot of hurt as a result. He's building up his side of the ruin. But it needs to be pointed out that yzemazy has still 2 tiles that go into this square. And he now draws one of the daggers, which is needed both here and here. That is also a problem for our British fans. It might seem that yellow is behind on the scoreboard, and it might seem so because this is absolutely true. But actually, I really like yellow's position here. These 2 monasteries will eventually score. The farmers will assert their dominance. If the city gets blocked, then what yellow can do, he can get himself this city completed and then use his new meeple to drop a farmer here and equalize. And since yellow is enjoying the ultimate meeple majority when his opponent doesn't have meeples, he can do all kind of moves, like for example going over here. That would pre-build an 8-point road which only he can benefit. There's still 1 crossroads remaining that could go here. But maybe first we want to take care of the square and actually try and block it. It also needs to be pointed out that the completion of Green City will result in another field. Fantastic tile for Lord Terrycloth. First of all, he gets to deny this guy. 1 out for recovery. And second, he gets to make an indirect defense, which is not too shabby. Normally, it is not a good way to defend like this, but in this particular instance, because all of the 3 tube-shaped tiles have gone out, it's actually harder to block the square. Scoring tile for yzemazy, 4 points, also setting up another 5-point road. And Lord Terrycloth gets himself the dagger tile, completes himself the city, and gets a 23-point advantage on the scoreboard. That was a crucial, crucial draw. 24 behind is yzemazy, trying to get some points via mini battle. Mr. Lord, as soon as he recovers a meeple, just places a meeple right back again. Again, it's all justified, but like the first impression that it looks reckless, but it's all justified. Because you see, the points of him spending a last meeple there was simply to denying yzemazy's easy points as well. Now, what do we do here for German? Maybe go here and try to use the fact that there are so few Doritos left and trying to block the city with an unusual blocking pattern, creating a Dorito-shaped hole. Instead, he simply develops his monastery. Mr. Lord with the second of the 3 horse tiles. Now, if he draws the first, then yellow is toast here. Yellow really needs this tile for the extra 11 points that it's going to provide. 5 for the road and 6 for the city unification. A scoring tile for yzemazy needs to choose between 4 points here and blocking green. yzemazy with a dagger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's still 1 Dorito left. So that's why he doesn't go for the Dorito-shaped block. He simply builds up his stuff. And the key tile has been drawn by yzemazy. He's going to get all these points. Now he's really catching up on the scoreboard. He has the 2 extra monasteries. And he has another scoring tile, which can go over here and put additional pressure on this guy. And with that, I think we're going to have ourselves a rather short match. I don't think the 11 points on the scoreboard will be enough at all. Quick points for yzemazy, also with a city restriction, which may or may not have been a complete block. Mr. Lord with a city cap tile. He was about to complete his city, but he can't. What do we even do here? He tries to get himself more points on his fields, which makes a lot of sense. If we can get 1 more city cap here, he'll score a little bit. 3 points for the closed city, even if he does not meeple it. He could also go here with something like a curve, which is still existent in the deck. Yellow has a variety of moves available. He can go here to anticipate the 6-point farm, or he can simply go here and meeple the 9-point field. Instead, he chooses to restrict scoring options for his opponent. Mr. Lord gets himself a meeple back, gets yzemazy 2 meeples back, but he won't be able to spend them all. So let's see. First of all, a move has to go here for a farmer, right? This is no question about it. And 9 points for the field. Mr. Lord with a Dorito tile and playing way, way too fast. I mean, these 3 points make a lot of sense, but I really would have wanted to think there for a bit longer. But maybe given that yzemazy is for the first time in the game ahead on the scoreboard, there's just not much left to think about. The last remaining city cap to complete Lord City has gone. So also, that's interesting. Somehow green has more points on the fields. You know what? I think this game... Wait. I'm not even sure who won. It's actually going to be way closer than I thought. Because these little points for the city and for the 2-point road could really matter. Now, a 6-point field for Matthias certainly must have helped a lot. Yep, 3 points. 3 points is the win for yzemazy. So 2 very close games. Both ended up in favor of the German. And I kind of felt that this one he was even more in control than these 3 extra points. And it also looks like actually we were having ourselves a coin flip for the game. Because if the final tiles were reversed, so imagine if the umbrella tile were drawn by Lord Terrycloth. He would have gone over here for 7 points, or even over here for 8. So that would have been 4 points more for him. And then yzemazy could have just gone here for 4. Yeah, so we had ourselves a coin flip for the game, actually. So in this position, I think maybe green should not feel too bad for themselves, because they did end up having a 50% chance to win this. Just didn't work out this time. A very back and forth game, but I have to say, really some great control of the game on the part of the German, because it looks like green had all the scoreboard lead, but yzemazy had a bunch of threats and an extra meeple to work, and then he just ended up scoring quick points, and quick points, and quick points, and building up monasteries, and then using his meeple majority to be the first one on the farm. From green's perspective, a bunch of interesting moves for sure, so spending his last meeple a bunch of times. Most of the time justified. This one unfortunately got stuck a little bit. But that is what it is. Both players are discussing the post-mortem analysis. Lord Terrycloth is saying, I think I shouldn't have gone for that ruin in the first game. Oh, really? Yeah, if you remember, I wonder if I have that position still open. So this meeple ended up scoring only 3 points, and even leaving himself a less than 50% chance to connect. So in Lord's position, maybe just a waiting move was in order. Even meepling a different ruin might have done it. And actually, you know what, from his perspective, even going for the field wasn't crazy. Yeah, now that I think about this, so if you want yourself a 50-50, going over here with that tile and dropping a farmer, that would have been also a 50% winning chance. No, that would also have been blockable, actually. Yeah, so there wasn't really a good invasion move. All he probably needed to do... Wait, you know what? There was this monastery still on the deck. Now, I actually kind of like green's move. Because green can win either connecting to the ruin or by drawing the road monastery and finishing his road, which would give him a point and a meeple back. Yeah, I actually like that. And then the idea is that if yzemazy draws the monastery here, which can score him 10 points, 4 for the monastery and 6 for the field extra, then green can also score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points extra actually by connecting to the ruin. Yeah, I actually think this was really smart. So this was trying to win without the road monastery. It just so happened that yellow drew both this tile and the block and any other tiles that could have helped Mr. Lord there. Alrighty. Let's see what they're discussing. Ooh, lots of messages. We are now realizing that defending with the butterfly was the way to go in that first game. With this tile over here. What else are they saying? They're also discussing the possibility of all the farms being united in this case. So these two farmers going over here. Hi Lord Terrycloth, hi yzemazy. Oh, they're also discussing the possibility of taking the ruin with this tile over here. Yeah, that was actually quite interesting. So if green were to connect here, and then going like this. Yeah, that could work. But then I also wonder, can green really afford to leave this empty? Because then if you do this, if you connect to the ruin, that's wonderful. But then if your opponent does assimilate the field by going here and then maybe even here, then maybe that big city is not enough. Wait! Actually! That's not a real threat. I just realized something. So, if this farmer equalizes this farmer, that's like they both score 9 points, right? If this bottom farmer eats up this meeple, it does not give him any extra points. Well, it doesn't give him only 3 extra for this city. So actually unifying the fields was not that big of a threat. It was only worth +6 points. So if yzemazy were to get this tile, he could go over here, score 3 points for the road, and add this castle to his bottom field. And the fact that there are 2 meeples at the top, they're irrelevant because they neutralize each other. Now, if there were only this guy here, and there would be like 2 yellow meeples here, then that would have been a different question. That would be really eating up that meeple, because that would be taking a field which is rightfully green's and unifying with that guy. Yeah, so maybe actually both during the game we overestimated the severity of the threat of field unification. So the players are discussing miscounting the tiles. Well, part of it is time management, really, because I felt that, like, strategically, Lord Terrycloth's play has been on par. It's just some decisions felt a little bit rushed. And there was some time in his bag, like he finished the first game with 1 minute and 30 seconds on his clock. Well, anyway, this analysis, of course, is interesting and all. We're going to let the players continue that. And we're going to leave the rest to y'all's imagination. I'm just going to let the final positions be on the screen for a few more seconds. I'm going to update the score to reflect that Germany's yzemazy is our second quarterfinalist. The first one being yours truly by managing to win against Portugal's Leo da Vinci. So what are we having later? I'm just going to scroll through all the pairings that you can see. Not everything has been scheduled. There are 2 matches tonight, which I'm unfortunately not able to stream. I know that Nauheim is covering one. I'm not sure if he's covering the other. Well, really, the match of the week, Someone You Know versus StatMat. Then these matches, I'm not sure if I can make it. I will do my best. This is quite an early time in the morning, but it might be worth it. And the other 2 matches, Secret Star versus Napalm Eye and Samuelson versus Bakshay, have not yet been scheduled. So make sure to, like, subscribe and click the notification button, and then stay tuned for some notifications if you want more competitive Carcassonne content like this. And also meeple the like button for the algorithm, that would also help. And now it's time to wrap up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.